Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Who's excited? I know I am. I haven't posted a video in over a month, and I know some of you guys out there are like, Jordan, where have you been? We miss you. And I'm sorry, but in the last month we've lost 3 people, really important people in me and my fiance's life. So, a little bit depressed, but I'm back and I'm excited and I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to do a video. I missed you guys. I miss my fans. I know there's probably going to be one person out there who's like, fans, you only have 120 subscribers. Yeah, well, that's more than you. Okay, I'm trying. And I'm excited for this next video. I hope everyone is doing good. And for you guys who don't know me, my name is Jordan McLean. I'm here every Tuesday and Thursday to bring you guys, I wish I could enunciate, to bring you guys a true crime that has happened here in Canada. And this true crime could be anything. It might not even be a crime. I know a couple videos back, I'll link them down below. I did a couple videos about laws that probably shouldn't have been that should have been crimes in Canada because they were fucked up laws. And then we do missing people, we do true stories, we do true crimes, and we do ghost stories. There's a lot of things. Canada is a fucked up place. A lot of you guys might say Canada's the best place in the world to live. No, we got some weird shit here. And let me tell you about it. I'm going to tell you guys why Canada's not that great. We are pretty great though. We are pretty great. So yeah, I'm excited. If you guys don't know me, Jordan McLean, I'll link all my socials here. I also link them down below. So if you want to check me out on social media, feel free to follow me. So now we're going to get into a story, which was, it wasn't controversial. It was sad. It was one of the first ones kind of, to happen in Canada. This one is about Rena Vok. Vok, I'm hoping I pronounce her name proper, V-I-R-K. She was an immigrant. She came to Canada with her family, and it was a bullying type of scenario where she went to a party and got murdered. Horrible stuff that happened. So we're gonna jump right into this. I wish I could speak English today, but I can't. So we're gonna jump right into this, and today we're gonna talk about Rena Vok and what happened to her and what happened to the people that were involved in it and their ages and how young it was and how horrible it was. So let's jump into it. Let's get right into this true crime today. All right, let's jump right into it. A couple other things totally forgot to say is for people who've been following me and watch my videos all the time and wondering where I am, thank you for reaching out. For everyone else who don't know me, another thing that's happening in my life in 3 weeks is I'm getting married. And you might be saying, Jordan, where's your ring? I don't see no ring on your hand. Yeah, I don't know what it was the last couple weeks or so, like with my job and stuff. I just have not been wearing it. I don't wear it. So I started off with my hydrating face primer by e.l.f. and then I'm going to go into my nose because it's a pore area. It's a landmine. If you're from Hinton, it looks like the Sunset parking lot over my nose, the way my pores have been going out. So I'm going to go with the Professional Benefit Pore, whatever it is, primer. And we're going to get into it. So Rena Vok, let's get to know her first. Rena Vok came from a very large extended family. Who was an immigrant from India. They described her immediate family as a minority, as they were Jehovah's Witnesses religion and local South Asian community of the 3,000, which were primarily Sikh. So when they first came to Canada, the area that they went to was mostly Sikh, which is not Jehovah's Witness, if you guys are following along. So Vok had been described, I'm probably going to call her Rena most of the time because I find that a lot easier with my speech impediment. It's been described as the girl who was the most accepted over her peers, but she was also taunted and ostracized by the girls who were, I guess there was like a subculture in this area, and it was this was British Columbia, just so you guys know. So like we ain't in any of these areas. So British Columbia is can be kind of mean, but these people were influenced by the Los Angeles street gangs, these little girls were. And so then they decided to, attack a minority, because that is exactly what you do when you do a street gang, right? And it is really sad that, you know, people are still doing this to this day. They're attacking people due to the color of their skin, due to the religion, due to all this. Like, my philosophy, all I say is, I don't care what you look like. I don't care what you believe in. I don't care whatever it is. You can do whatever you want as long as you don't hurt somebody else or force it on me. Those are my two things. If you're gonna be a dick and push it down my throat and be like, oh my God, Jesus Christ, I'm gonna have a problem with you. But if you don't, and you don't care, and you don't care what I do, and I don't care what you do, as long as we're just like, you know, chilling, we're living a good life. So Rena was known as a very charismatic, beautiful young lady, you know, smart, educated, just, you know, people, her family loved her, had nothing but great things to say about her. So on the evening of 1997, oh my God, I cannot speak today, November, Rena Book was invited to a party, which is like, I know, so another story about me. I was not that popular in high school, I didn't have many friends. And let me tell you, when somebody invited me to a party or something, like, I felt like I was the coolest person in the world. I was like, me? You want to hang out with me, little old me, the jock who everyone thought was a lesbian? Oh my God, like, I'm going, right? So she was invited to a party by her friends near the Craigflower Bridge in a municipality in Victoria, British Columbia. So, you know, they're probably saying like, yo, we're having a sick party, you gotta be there, like, there's gonna be tons of people, it's gonna be a rager, na. And like, again, if you're not popular and you're invited to a pretty big party, you're gonna want to go, especially if the popular kids invite you. And this is a word from the wise. If popular kids invite you and they just randomly invite you and they're usually your bullies, don't go. They're only inviting you so they can harass you and embarrass you and some type of thing, right? They don't actually want you there. They just want some fun at the party, and you're going to be the person who's going to do it. Now I'm going in with my NARS concealer in the lightest shade because I'm white. I also went in with my NARS Soft Matte Complexion Foundation. I really like this stuff. Again, I try to stay away from NARS because they test on animals. Oops, but it's really hard when they just make such great stuff. So while at the bridge, it was oh my God, I cannot read. It was claimed that the teenagers drank alcohol and smoked a marijuana, a fat blunt. Rena was subsequently swarmed by the group, later called the Shoreline Six, aka the gang of whatever, the Los Angeles people, you know, those people who thought they were cool and it's not a gang like California. These little kids. Witnesses said that one of the girls took a cigarette and kind of, why can't I think of the word? Took the cigarette and delit it. I don't even know how to say it. The cigarette on her forehead. So it was like, see ya, you know, like super rude. The forehead. And then while 7 or 8 others stood by and watched, Rena was viciously and repeatedly hit, punched, and then kicked. She was found to have several cigarette burns on her skin, and apparently attempts were made to set her hair on fire because, you know, kids are great. The forced beating ended, then one of the girls told the others to stop. So she was getting beat. And like, all these people who are watching, shame on you for not doing shit, right? I don't know, like, I've been to a few bush parties in the days of my youth. Well, yeah, there's a fight, but there hasn't been a bush party where I've gone to where one person is getting beat by 6 other people. Like, that's not, draw the line somewhere, people. Have some morals. So one person did manage to say like, hey, this is inappropriate. You shouldn't have been ganging up on this poor woman who's by herself. Like, how about we not? And they stopped. So at this point, Rena managed to get up on her feet and decided, I need to get out of here. This is not a safe situation for me. So she got up and started walking away, which is like, you know, leave her. You just beat her up. I don't know how severe the beating was, but if 6 people were just like busting down on her, she ain't like gonna be chill and be able to get up by herself. Like, she's gonna be sore. So she got up and started walking away. but then was followed by 2 of the, whatever they call themselves, the 6 of whatever, the stupid gang these 9-year-olds made. They started following her, and they were part of the original group, so part of the gang. Elod and Glowski, Glowatsk, Glowski. The pair dragged Rena to the other side of the bridge, made her remove her shoes and jacket, and beat her a second time. Elod held her head underwater. So, first of all, who is raising these kids? Who is raising these 2 girls who decided, you know what, this one beating where she was already outnumbered wasn't enough, let's do another one. And let's do it because we're racist. I want to know who is raising these kids, because, like, those kids need a beating. And I'm just going to say that now. Whoever raised those kids needs to do a better job, and those kids need a beating themselves. That's just me. Like this video if you think these kids should get beat up too. So despite an alleged pact amongst the people involved to not rat each other out, so they're like, hey, if the cops are involved or Rena says anything to her parents, don't rat us out, because, you know, snitches get stitches type of deal, which is like, I'm ratting you out. First of all, if I witnessed this, I'd be beating some people up. That's just me. And second of all, yeah, I'm gonna rat you the fuck out. The cops are coming, and you did this. Like, I'm not part of the gang. What do you want me to do? Sit here and say nothing? No. So yeah, you're getting ratted out. So they said, don't rat us out. We have a pact amongst everyone. We don't want you. If you rat us out, we're coming for you. By the following Monday, rumors of the alleged murder spread. So because her head was held underwater, she did perish due to this. So these guys are great. They just left her. They're like, she fine. She can just, like, walk it off. You know, she's not moving or anything, but, like, we're cool with that. So she did pass away because of this stuff. And then they're like, again, please don't snitch on us, you know. Snitches get stitches. All that fun stuff at school. And then we're in high school. So we all know no high school kid can keep a secret to save their life. That is a fact. I coach high school boys basketball, and let me tell you about everything these kids tell me about the stuff that happens at school. It's crazy. Like, I'm like, dudes, like, you need to be keeping this shit to yourself. And they're like, you're not gonna believe this chick got beat up, or she sent us this. And I always give them a little shit, but oh my god, I put so much blush on. That's a little fucked up. Damn. So the rumor started, that was me ranting again, hope you guys don't mind. So the rumor started spreading that, you know, she was murdered at this party. Did anyone see? Stuff like that. And people started talking, which high school kids do. That is their favorite pastime, is rumor starting and gossiping. So it started spreading through the Shoreline Secondary School. Rena Vordak was a student at a nearby Shoreline Secondary School. Several uninvolved students and teachers heard the rumors, but none of them really, like, knew what came forward to the report to the police. The rumors were confirmed 8 days later on November 22nd, 1997, when police using a helicopter found Rena partially closed body washed ashore at the Georgia Inlet, a major waterway of the Vancouver Island. So they didn't really know where she was at first. They were like, okay, well, like, she went missing after the party. This is what I alleged from what I read. She went missing after the party. No one really knew where she went. And then they found her clothes, and then shortly after they found her body, because these 12-year-old, 13-year-old kids are fucking horrible. The coroner ruled the death was from drowning, which was because of that one chick who pushed her head underneath it. And the autopsy later revealed that Rena was had significant injuries through the body. The head injuries and they were severe enough to kill her. So the second beating that these 2 girls did give her was severe enough to kill her. If she had not drowned, you know, they don't know if she would have lived or died, but she probably could have died because of these injuries. Rena was 14 years old when this happened. So these type of stories, we're not even done yet. We haven't even got into the lives of the murderers. But these type of stories are the reason why I don't want to have kids. She was 14 and was murdered by a bunch of people. But also the fact that these people were also of that age. So I'm not saying that I don't want kids because they could get murdered and die, which is a valid reason for me not wanting to have kids. I don't want kids either due to the fact that I could have a kid and they could be a murderer. So due to this being Canada, one of our favorite things to do, which is like something I kind of like agree upon, is we don't allow to say the names of underage individuals, which in this case, the murderers were underage individuals. I didn't put my thing on. My primer. So this primer I got in a BoxyCharm. I've used it a lot. You guys have probably seen it. Feels like Vaseline to my eyes. It just feels like I just layered a thing of Vaseline. It says professional makeup base seamless eye primer. It's Vaseline. So if you got a BoxyCharm with this in it, let me know how you like your Vaseline in a jar. That costs $48 or something. So there were 6 females who were allegedly the murderers or the attempted murderers or people who were involved in the murder. And the documents in the courts all did abbreviations like NC, NP, MGP, CAK, GO, and KME. NC is known as Nicole Cook, and MGP is also known as Missy Grace Plinch. Both have admitted involvement in the murder. Kelly Elwood is referred to in some documents as KME. That was the chick who held her head down in the water. So she is pretty much, in my opinion, from what I read at the very beginning, the main murderer. So, but they all beat her up, and they said in the documents, the coroner report, that if she didn't die from drowning, she had severe enough injuries to her body, her head, and everywhere else that she probably could have died from those injuries. Also, I got this palette. Looks beautiful. Just the crappiest, like, pigmentation is nothing. There's nothing. But I do like to use the really, like, light ones on my eyes because it almost looks like nothing. And I like that. So I just thought that was funny. And, like, all the reviews was like, trash, garbage, ooh, disgusting, stuff like that. So just letting you guys know, don't buy that. So one of the girls in the group was found to be incapable of being kept in jail due to suicide attempts, which is like, you killed someone. And this is due to the PTSD since she witnessed her mother's violent death as a child. So I understand trauma and why people do stuff. Like if you go back with like Jeffrey Dahmer, stuff like those, and you guys look in their past and how bad their past was and then what they did, it kind of correlates. But you know, you also look at some people who were raised by alcoholics and then they're super successful businessmen. And it's like, okay, choose the path. She chose the wrong one. Okay, so now we're going to talk about one of the individuals who was part of the whatever posse they like to call each other, and kind of just dive into their life story. So Warner, this was the Glowaski that I cannot pronounce, and his parents moved around frequently prior to the separation in 1996. He lived in Evans and Regina, Saskatchewan, and then British Columbia. He also lived in Medicine Hat. That's where he was born. And if you can write below who else you knew that I've talked about is from Medicine Hat, I might give you a gift. Maybe I'll send you something. So go down below. Let me know who else did Jordan do who's from Medicine Hat. You might know, you might not know if you're not watching. It was a pretty big case that hit Canada, and it's also involving, I'll give you one more hint, it's also involving a young person. So right down below. So in 1996, Warner and his father moved to New Nanaimo, British Columbia, which is on the island of Victoria, if you guys don't know where that is. This is based out of Victoria Island, and Nanaimo is just like a little suburb kind of whatever of Vancouver Island. See how I just got all that wrong, and I'm just going to roll with it. I was completely wrong. They're from Vancouver Island. In 1997, they had to settle in a trailer home near the south tip of the island. The following year, Warner's father married a woman he met in Las Vegas, which is like, you know, hangover shit. In Las Vegas, Warner decided to remain in Saanich, living alone in the trailer, and was supported by money sent by his father. Which is like, how old is this kid? Why is he living on his own in a trailer? That guy should not have had him. I don't know where his mom was, but at least he sent him money and didn't just like 100% leave him. Which is nice, but like, you know. On the night of Rena's murder, an unknown reason, Warner involved himself in the fight and twice kicked the victim in the head. When the beating ended, Warner and Kelly Ellard followed Rena. According to Warner, Ellard smashed Rena's face into a tree, knocking her dead out, passed out. And when Warner helped Rena drag Vicky to the water, where Ellard drowned her. So again, like, I don't know how old this dude is, but he had no right to be there. He was just at the party, and then he's like, I'm gonna get involved and kill this person, which is a little, you know, maybe if he had a father figure or a mother figure in his life, instead of living in a trailer by himself while his father's marrying strippers in Vegas, he might have had a standing chance. But, you know, what do I know? You know, I've only done like 80 videos on crazy people, so I don't know everything, but I do know a lot. All right. So he helped her drown, and he pretty much blamed the whole thing on her, which, if you're a scared individual and you're going to jail for quite a while because you murdered someone that you did impulsively and you had no type of relationship with the person, and you were just drunk at the club, and you're like, I'm going to kill this 14-year-old little girl, yeah, you're going to try to blame it on somebody else, so then you don't have to go to jail. So in June 1999, Warner was convicted of second-degree murder because of this, and given a life sentence. Because he was 16 at the time of the murder, he was eligible for parole after serving 7 years, which is bullshit, in my opinion. So again, he's living on his own, 16. He probably was even younger at the time his dad left him. And now look at the circumstance. He murdered someone. So I blame the dad for that one. Let me know if you guys think the same. I think a lot of you would. The dad and the mom should have been involved in this kid's life, but instead they gave him money where he lived on his own, and who knows what he did with the money. He probably spent it on alcohol or drugs or whatever, and now he is convicted of second-degree murder, and that's not something nice to be convicted of. So Rena's family did not consent to the parole whatsoever. They were like, no, this guy needs to stay in jail. He killed our daughter, which is like valid reason, because Warner expressed, and for his part of the murder, he expressed that he was responsible for it. He did it. He helped. He didn't even have like really, he wasn't trying to hide it. He was like, yeah, I did it. And, you know, so like, they're like, keep this guy in jail. He's crazy. So since they did that in July 2006, he was granted temporary absence from jail, and by December 2006, Warner was eligible to apply for parole again. He was granted this in June 2007, which is like, again, I get it, the justice system in Canada, like, we're trying to rehabilitate people, we're trying to make people better, and, you know, all that stuff, but like, yeah, somebody did something and we can, you know, maybe like look the other way, but you also have to look at the fact that did the people who lost their loved one, are they rehabilitated? Are they done? Can they move on with their life? If the question is no, then that person should probably rot in jail for the rest of their life until the family says it's okay for them to come out. You know, like, look at the States. I'm not saying the States is perfect, but the States is 3-strike rule. Like, well, like, oh, you killed them? That's cool. You can go walk around and do whatever you want. Vincent Lee, chop some dude's head off. That guy misses one pill. He's out there fucking around doing all kinds of shit, right? Like, I just don't get it. And I even studied criminal justice in university, and I don't get it. So if I don't get it, who else is going to get it? So during his incarceration, Warner discovered that he is Métis. He played a large role in the parole hearing as he asked for parole board to incorporate his elders into the process and various healing circles and other forms of restorative justice, which is like awesome. You know what? You got to get that if you want to get back with like your religion or culture or heritage. That is awesome, but don't do that just because you want out of jail. Restorative justice and bringing in Warner and the parents of Rena together. In receiving day parole, he proceeded to hug every member of the parole board and in those presents, including the family of Rena. I would have punched that fucker in the face. That would have been just me. I'm not a nice... Don't come near me. You killed my daughter. Like, get out of my face. Warner was released on full parole in June 2010. So that dude is walking around doing nothing. Now we're moving on to the chick that drowned her. So Kelly Ellard, born August 9th, 1982, was 15 years old when she and Warner murdered and drowned Rena. Just give me a second. You know how I can get, guys. I'm trying to put some sparkles on my face. I'm trying to get sparkly for you. So when she murdered and drowned, Ella had stood trial 3 times for the murder. She had been convicted twice, and on June 12, 2009, the Globe and Mail reported that the Supreme Court of Canada had overturned the judicial ruling of the BC Court of Appeals in an 8-1 ruling. Ella's third trial was judged to be fairly executed. So they said something happened during the trial and that they said, you know what, we got to do this all over again. We got to make sure that she's being judged fair and not whatever. Like, I would have been flipping pissed. Like, she drowned my daughter. What do you mean we got to be fair about this? Like, give her the death penalty. That's what I would have said. But that's why I'm never going to be a juryman or anything like that. So the evidence was cited in the book and about the case regarding her psychopathy, and violence in middle school. And the reason was the absence of her birth father in their life. Dude living on his own, didn't have his birth father or mother. And he did kill someone, but like, he's in jail. I guess he got parole, but like he was in jail. So whatever. Ella was eventually she was convicted in March 2000 for second-degree murder in Rena's death. And in February 2003, this conviction was overturned and a new trial was ordered. The second trial ended in a mistrial as a result of a hung jury. So that means the jury got evidence, knew about the case. Something happened, so they're no longer allowed to do the jury anymore, which is like stupid. And then in July 2004, a third trial ordered that Ellard was convicted again of second-degree murder, and in April 2005, given an automatic life sentence with no parole, eligible for 7 years. Again, she was underage. She was 15 when it all happened, so they have to do that. The Supreme Court ruled that her conviction stands because the error of the original trial judge was harmless. So I don't know exactly what the original trial judge did, but he screwed the whole thing up, and it could happen to anyone. We've seen that before in other videos where we talk about something and they're like, it's a mistrial, because I think one of the ones that we did before, I forget exactly what it was, but the judge said, you know, if this was me, I would do this. And then that's a mistrial because the judge shouldn't put his input on anything. So it was a mistrial. So Nicole Cook was the other one that was really involved in this murder of Rena. Give me a second. We all know how I do. Messing up like a fool. Can't do line over to save my life. So Nicole Cook was born in 1983, lived in a group home at the time, A documentary, Bloodlust Under the Bridge, Cook spoke about how she took the lit cigarette and put it out on Rena's face. The mayhem that followed. Cook further explained how she repeatedly punched and kicked Rena as she was being propelled by the others' assailants. So she was pretty much like, only reason why I did it was to fit in and because everyone else is saying I should do it. I think that, oh my god, I almost choked my own spit. I think that's a horrible narrative, and I don't think that's, you know, how you should like base your life. And I know it's hard when you're that young. You're very influenced. You're very, you know, trying to stay cool, trying to stay relevant. And if your friends are saying you should beat this chick up, beat her up, right? That's how they function. But that's not the case in most things. You probably shouldn't do it. If you went through life saying that, again, like your parents saying, would you jump off a bridge? They jumped off a bridge. Just because they tell you to do it doesn't mean that you should do it. At the end of the MSNB interview, Cook then said that she had nothing to do with Rena's actual murder because Ellard was the participant charged with murder. So she's like, you know what, I did kick her a few times. And they did say that maybe if she didn't drown, she probably would have died from the injuries to her head and body. But I didn't murder her. So she made no sense there. You're still a murderer. You're an accomplice, bitch. Like, you participated in the death of an individual. I don't mean to call this 12-year-old a bitch, but like, you know what I mean? Like, honey, if the shoe fits, honey, like, get it together. You still did it. So she said she didn't do the murder, even though somebody else was charged. Dateline reported that Keith Morrison then asked, would the murder have ever happened if you hadn't started the fight by burning her face with a cigarette? And Cook replied, I don't know, maybe. Like, you know what? You guys invited her there just to be a dick. And then she was the initial person who did it. You started it. And then things escalated and got out of control. You still killed her. You know? That's how I see it. Some of the motives of this details. There was a book that was written called Under the Bridge. It details some of the motives that may have led to Rena's death. Two of the girls convicted in the initial beating alleged that Rena stole the phone book from Nicole Cook and started calling Cook's family, spreading rumors, which is still don't mean you need to murder someone. And Cook lit out the cigarette on Rena's forehead during the attack. Another girl, MGP, was allegedly angry that Rena for stealing her boyfriend. Rena once lived with two girls in a youth group home, and was suggested that she may have done this in order to assert herself as tough. So again, prison rules, same in group homes. You want to be seen as the toughest person and not to be screwed with, you're going to do whatever you can. And she did. So, which is horrible. That doesn't mean you should kill. So we're going to look at just the timeline of everything, and you guys, you know, express to me what you think. So in November 14, 1997, Rena was killed. November 22nd, 1997, the body was found. So if I can do math, which I can't, 6, 7, 8, 7, so a week and a day went by before the body was actually found of Rena. On February 9th, 1998, 3 teenager girls pled guilty to assault causing bodily harm for the roles in the attack. Okay? Not murder, not death, but bodily harm. February 13th, 1998, 3 more girls were convicted in assault causing bodily harm, so now we're at 6. So between April and May 1998, 6 teenage girls are sentenced for their roles in beating Rena. Sentence range from 60 days, conditional sentence, to 1 year in jail. Again, these guys are all minors, so you ain't getting a lot of time because minors don't get shit in Canada. You get a slap on the wrist and draw a photo. So unless you're above like 16, 14, 15, they might, try to get you a little bit more if it's a serious thing like killing someone, but they usually don't. Okay. So in June 1999, Warner, the only male involved in the crime, was convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to a life in prison with no chance of parole for 7 years because he's a minor. He was 16. March 9, 2000, Kelly Ellard is convicted of second-degree murder in an adult court. She was charged as an adult, where she is sentenced to life imprisonment with no chance of parole for 5 years. 7 years, which is kind of like, no 5 years. 5 years minor, but sentenced as an adult. So again, since she was sentenced as an adult in Canada, when she turns 18, her record isn't going to be expunged. So what that means is usually when you turn 18, your record as a youth goes away. It doesn't really follow you in life, but this one will, bitch. November 15th, 2000, 3 years and a day after the murder of Rina, her parents, Majid and Saman, sued the teenagers who took part in the beating in the BC government and several other parties, which they should. These guys got nothing for killing their daughter. It wasn't even just like, oh, we were walking and we were friends and she pushed me and I pushed her and she fell off the bridge. It was like we beat the crap out of her and then we drowned her because, you know what? We're cool. That's how it was. February 4th, 2003, the BC Court of Appeal announced that due to the improprieties in the Elwood case was questioned during the first trial, a new trial will be ordered, and the Crown to ask the accused why witnesses would lie about the accused. So I wonder why they lied about her, because she crazy and said, like, threatened people right off the jump, like, you rat on us. Like, I kind of wonder why they did that. So now there was a new conviction in November 15, 2000. Oh, I read that one already. In the 14th, 2004, Elwood's second murder trial begins. July 18, 2004, she is convicted. Deadlock 11-1. She out. You're guilty. And on April 12th, Ella was found guilty of second-degree murder. She was given an automatic life sentence with no parole for another 7 days, which is like, is it worth it? So you have a trial 5 years ago, you're convicted, and then they're like, hey, wrong, we're going to give you another trial. So another 3 years ago, then they convict you again. So now you have another 7 years to do parole. You don't just doesn't just cycle back. Okay, back then you were 7 years. So now that we did these trials and it took you 5 years to get through the trial system because of the appeals, you're going to now be able to go for parole. No, now you have another 7 years because you just got convicted again. So now you have another 7 years. So that's 14 years to wait that you've been in jail. Why would you want to do that? That's just my thing. Take the first one and just roll with it, right? If you did it. If you didn't, maybe not, but she did it. So on the 20th, 2006, after nearly 9 years of a life sentence, Warner is granted temporary pass by the National Parole Board, moving him a step closer to becoming part of society, which Canada loves. August 9th, 2006, Ella appeals her conviction, asking for a fourth trial or an acquittal. The Crown has the option to appeal, holds a fourth trial, and abandons prosecution. So they're like, April 2009, Ella appeals goes before the Supreme Court of Canada. July 12, 2009, the Supreme Court of Canada reinstates the second-degree murder trial. Like, this chick tried as hard as she could to get out. Why? You drowned the bitch. You're a murderer and a horrible person. You're going to be in jail. What do you... Everyone saw you do it, too. You got an eyewitness that blamed you for it. The guy that was with you, he's like, yeah, just, she did it. And she still was like, I'm going to try to get out of this. Kelly Elwood putting an end to the legal cause for more than a decade. It took a decade for this chick to finally let it sink in. June 23rd, 2010, Warner is released on parole. And July 18, 2017, Ella is denied parole because she's a crazy person. So this was a really popular case just because it was one of the when bullying went too far. So I am going to put my lashes on and my eyeliner, and I'll be back in a second. Stand still. Wait. She's back. I'm back. I laid my lashes. I did. My hair was always did, but yeah, I'm feeling myself. A little purple love, a little purple action for you guys. Something different, something new, something summery. You know how it is. All right, so a couple of things. I don't want to blame the parents, but a little parent interference in these kids' lives might have done them good. All these people out here going to parties, getting drunk and beating up kids and killing them. But you know, maybe if you had an adult supervision, or a mom who cared about you, or a dad who didn't just let you live in a trailer at 14 and let you get drunk all the time, maybe this never would have happened. And you know what? Rena's family, they sound like pretty cool people, and they just did whatever. They let, finally, daughter's allowed to go out. You, like, I know probably my parents didn't think when I went to a party in the bush, I was going to get my ass beat. You know, maybe my fiance's family thought that about him, but they didn't think, my parents did not think that about me. And then how many times does that one chick have to go through court to realize, like, we ain't letting you out? And then she goes for parole, and then they're like, no, you tried to do this already 4 other times. Why do you think this time we're going to let you do it? Like, it's not happening. I didn't get that. But yeah, no, honestly, like, again, this is probably a parent's worst fear, is letting your kid go out to the club, not the club, to a party, and then next thing you know, you can't find them for 7 days because kids beat them up and almost kill them. Like, that's horrible. That's a horrible thing to go through. And then one guy gets out. I know he wasn't the main killer, and he found Jesus or whatever he did, but it would still suck. I think, again, you need to look at the victims. If the victims are not ready for the rehabilitation, because who to say that they're not walking down a Costco and they run into this Warner fella who killed their daughter, or didn't just kill, like participated and all that stuff. Let her be, like, was there when she drowned and died, took her clothes, and then left the body and didn't tell anyone for 8 days. I know they're kids, but damn, that's dark. So those are my final thoughts on this. Screwed up. People are screwed up. Canada's screwed up for letting these people out, and I feel horrible for the family who is now dealing with this. Those are my final thoughts. Let me know down below what you guys think of this case, or if you agree with me that some parent supervision, all the kids who did it lived in group homes. Like, nothing towards group homes, but maybe Canada should look in that. Maybe we should have some better group homes so kids don't, you know, turn out this way, but Canada don't care. But let me know what you guys thought down below. I know this is my first video back, and let me know how I did. I'm still a little rusty, getting back into the groove of it, but yeah, I'm super excited. I'll post another one on Thursday. And yeah, I'm just happy to be back, and thank you guys for coming out and watching and listening and, you know, just participating. It means the world to me. And thank you for my new subscribers. I see you guys out there liking my stuff, posting my stuff. And again, yes, like and subscribe. I'll be posting my socials right here too. And there's that little button down below. If you click it, you'll know every time I post, and you'll get a notification. So please, 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 please go down there and like and subscribe. It means the world to me when you guys do that. It just shows me that what I'm doing, you guys are loving and you're supporting me. And it just means so much. So again, hope you guys like this video. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys guessed who's the medicine hat person, put it down below. And yeah, again, thank you guys so much. And I will see you guys Tuesday. Bye.